Thank you, Diego. Good evening, Texas Democrats. Welcome to my beautiful hometown of San Antonio. I'm honored to serve as the chair of the 2016 Democratic Convention. Thank you to Chairman Gilbert Hinojosa, Crystal Perkins, and everyone at the Texas Democratic Party for all of your hard work and for bringing all of us together. It is great to be home. And you know, over the last few years, I've had a chance to travel the country, speaking to Democrats in many states, from the East and West Coast to our heartland and in the South. And I have to tell you, I think we have the hardest working Democratic Party officials of any state in the nation. Thank you for everything y'all do. That said, I have to admit that when I go to some states, I get a little jealous. When I go to New York or I go to California, I go to other places that have wonderful Democratic statewide office holders, I get a little envious. And it makes me wish that politics was like sports. I go there and I ask them if I could trade them, say, Ted Cruz for Elizabeth Warren. Or maybe Greg Abbott for Jerry Brown. But you know, I mentioned that. I was in New York and I mentioned that, and the mayor of New York said, you know, we love you guys, but you're just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. You're gonna have to beat them at the ballot box. And that's what we have to do. So are you ready to win in November? Are you ready to make history? Are you ready to beat Donald Trump? And are you ready to elect Hillary Clinton as the first woman president of the United States? Thank you to everybody. Thank you to all of the delegates at the county and statewide level, everybody who's helped out on congressional races. Thank you to everybody who supported Bernie Sanders in his bid for the presidency. Senator Sanders has been a good thing for the Democratic Party. And thank you to those of you who worked on behalf of Secretary Clinton. You know, if you look around the room, you'll see that there are people here from every corner of Texas, from the bustling metro areas of DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth, to H-Town, Houston, Texas, to Austin, the piney woods of East Texas is here, Tyler and Longview and Lufkin, and West Texas, Fort Stockton and El Paso and Marfa. The Panhandle is here, Amarillo and our neighbors up north, and of course, the place where my wife, Ana, is from, and she's here with me tonight, along with my kids, Roman and Andrea. My wife is from near Mission, Texas in the Rio Grande Valley. I love every part of Texas, but I especially love my hometown. You know, for all of us, there is a story and a history of how our families came to grow up in Texas. The first person in my family to come here was my grandmother, who came here in 1922. She came from Coahuila, Mexico. My grandmother was not a murderer or rapist. My grandmother was a 6-year-old girl whose parents had died around the time of the Mexican Revolution, and the closest relatives who could take her and her sister in lived in San Antonio, Texas. And I bet if we went around the room, we would find other beautiful stories, ancestors of yours who came to Texas from places like Ireland and Germany. You think about the Germans who settled in Kerrville and Fredericksburg and New Braunfels, about the Czechs who settled in West Texas, about Vietnamese Americans who've come to Houston and made it such a thriving city. People from all over the world who have come and made this state great. My grandmother and generations before us made Texas great. But today, the Republican majority, the state officials and the legislature are hurting Texas. They're wrecking our economy. They're neglecting our schools. They're bilking the taxpayers. And they're trying to make decisions for women on health care. You know, I think sometimes when I watch the news about how we have an attorney general who's under indictment, who's being investigated for fraud by the federal government. I think about the ag commissioner who, on your dime, went to Oklahoma to get a Jesus shot. Does anybody know what a Jesus shot is, by the way? And went to Louisiana to participate in a rodeo. You paid for a Republican statewide official to participate in a rodeo in Louisiana. You think about the arrogance and corruption that has overtaken our state government. The fact is, Texas needs a change. We need to go in a different direction, chart a new path, and we are in control of our future. We have the opportunity to shape that future. Because after all, we stand for the values and the things that Texans actually care about. Look, if you listen to Republicans today in Texas, they basically only talk about a few things. First, they want to tell you how scary the border is and how we shouldn't let anybody in. They want to talk to you about how there's no money for anything unless it's one of their friends who's asking for a no-bid, multi-million-dollar contract. They offer thoughts and prayers after mass shootings, but take no action. We believe in something else. We believe in creating a Texas that's a place of opportunity for everybody. We believe that we should have great schools and universities. That means increasing financial aid, not cutting Pell Grants by $1 billion like Paul Ryan wants to do. We believe that we should invest in education, which means paying our teachers what they deserve. We believe in a health care system that includes Obamacare because people need to have health insurance. And we believe in an economy that makes sure that when people put in a hard day's work, they can support themselves and their family members. That's why we support things like equal pay for women and increasing the minimum wage. Democrats, we have the power to change the politics of Texas, but it means that we have to stand up and speak up when Republicans do wrong. Silence at any level of government, county government, state government, those of us in Congress, silence is not the solution. We have to take action. And if we do our work right, it'll mean that in 2016 and beyond, we'll start electing great Democrats again, like LBJ and Ann Richards and so many others. Let's unite and make sure that we win in 2016 and beyond. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah.